Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our panel. For those of you that haven't been on the event for the entire duration, my name is Rachel Mitchell, and I'm the Director of Business Development for TorontoJobs.ca and for the Virtual Sales Management Conference today. So thanks to everyone for joining us. Our speakers have given us some fantastic strategies and tips and pointers, and really want to thank them for being here. And I want to thank our panelists for being here. So I am joined by some amazing leaders in the sales industry. So we have Rick Bolt, who's the Director of Sales at Incepta Solutions. You want to say hi, Rick?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we have Elizabeth Fraser, who's the Director of Corporate Sales at MeritzBiz. And we've got Lindsy Fong, who is a sales leader with many, many years of experience. We're going to get a lot of different perspectives from everyone today, just from different industries, coming from all different backgrounds. So I'm really excited for all of you to share your strategies and your insights with us. Obviously, 2020 was a huge learning curve for everyone. Lots of pivoting, lots of changing the way we do things and processes and interact with our clients and our sales teams. So we're really gonna dig some strategies out and learn what you guys have been doing to kind of shift in your organization. So I want to start just by maybe everyone telling us a little bit about yourselves, your organizations, and maybe how you got started in your sales career and what kind of attracts you to the profession. So maybe Rick, we'll start with you if that's okay.
Sure thing.
Perfect.
So I work for Incepta. We're a software development company. We work with MuleSoft and other integration tools, which may not mean a lot to everybody, but I got into sales about 25 years ago in staffing. My best friend said, "You'd be really good at this." And I'm a former varsity athlete and coach. So the thrill of the hunt, the chase, the winning a client over, it's like addictive. It's so great. I really love that part of it. 2020 was a very tough year for sure. But 2021 seems to be shaping up pretty well. And very positive outlook so far.
Amazing. And what sport did you play?
I played two sports, basketball and volleyball.
Nice. I was a volleyball player too. So amazing. Well, thanks for being here. I'm excited to learn a little bit more. Integration is very important in so many different ways. That word is, a very common buzz term for the future. So I'm excited to learn more about your organization. So how about you, Elizabeth? Maybe if you can tell us how you started in your career, a little bit about your organization. You touched on in the backstage just a little bit about the industry and how it's been impacted. So excited to hear from you too.
Yeah, so I'm Elizabeth. And so how I started my sales career, I've been in sales for over 18 years now. And I come from a family of small, medium-sized business owners. So after university, I just kind of jumped in and was like, I want to do something in business. And I actually started out, everyone can laugh, it's okay, but vector marketing, which is the Cutco cutlery, which you would go into people's homes and sell $3,000 sets of knives based on referral based. So that's how I started out my sales career and did really, really well at that, and started actually training salespeople when I was young. We won't say what age, because that would give everything away with all of my stuff. But for many years, that's how I started. Similar to Rick, I was a super competitive sports player. So I played guys AAA hockey until I was 17.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then I switched over into the female realm and in that type of stuff, and played at some of the varsity level for a while in the States. And one of my summer jobs was actually instructing at hockey camps across Canada and the States with varsity players. So I'm super competitive. I like to win. I don't like losing. And I love people. So that's why I think I love sales, is because I love being able to build relationships with people. I like connecting. I like learning about people's story. And I mean, that's the basis for a lot of sales, and the team is just being able to, it's been through the whole thing, but repetitive, but learn people and listen and so on. So that's a little bit of my background. How I got into, currently I work at a corporate travel agency. We have travel, leisure, and multiple facets, but I'm more focused on the corporate side. And how I got into that, I was bored. That sounds bad, but I work for marketing companies, promotional marketing companies. I have a little 4-year-old. So after that, I said, if I can have a child, then I need something more exciting. So I just jumped into a total different industry and been in it now for 4 years. which is unique because in travel, most people have been in it for 10, 20, 30 years. It's very, people switch just companies, they don't switch industries. So I'm kind of a little bit of a trendsetter in that way, in that sense where, yeah, so I'm leading the sales team over at Merit. And we'll get more into some of the challenges. I won't steal the show too much about what's happening. As everyone can see on the news, the travel industry has been decimated or murdered a little bit. Not to sound negative, but there are some really positive things that have come out of it. So
amazing. Well, I like, guys, looking forward. I like the depth and breadth we have of industries on the panel today. So thanks so much for being here. So Lindsy, let's touch base on your career and how you got started and how long you've been in sales.
Yeah, so I don't have the same kind of illustrious sports career as my fellow panelists here, but I studied theater in university and came out wondering what I would do, realized I didn't really want to be on screen. And so I started selling documentaries and TV shows. And that was really how I began my sales career about 15 years ago. From there, actually moved into the travel industry, similar to Elizabeth, where I was for 10 years, definitely a travel lover, and felt that I'd be there forever, but made a big decision about 3 years ago to transition into the tech space. So I went to help start a telemedicine platform called Maple here in Canada and grow that, which has now become very, very important and popular, obviously, being that we're in a pandemic, and then switched into legal tech. So I've kind of had a lot of different tastes for sales and for selling different things, which has given me great perspective on how to connect with all different kinds of customers. And now I'm currently looking for my next opportunity to see where I can find a home, but definitely staying in the tech space.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. So maybe let's start with, different trends, maybe how the pandemic has impacted your industry. I think you guys all come from a different backgrounds, Rick in technology, Elizabeth, you come from travel, and Lindsay, you come from the tech world as well. So maybe we'll start with you, Elizabeth, because I'm itching to know, how are you keeping up with this, being in corporate travel, and how have you pivoted? What type of strategies have you implemented? And maybe you can just talk about your industry a little bit.
Sure. So one of the big things with our company, and I know Lindsay reached out before and kind of knows a little bit of our company past, but for everyone that's on here, we actually a couple of years ago merged with a couple of companies. So MeritzBiz has been around for almost 30 years now. It started out with corporate travel. It's a small mid-sized player, but recently we actually have a sister company we merged with. If you're familiar with iTravel 2000, redtag.ca. So now we're functioning as one company. They're a leisure-based travel, as well as we do a lot of rewards and loyalty programs as well. But I'll talk more specifically about the corporate side. We have a very loyal client base in our company. Like I said, we focus a bit more on professional services, so technology, marketing, that type of stuff, those type of professional services with high touch, lots of good service, even though we now have been verging. So what we've been doing, obviously sales in travel right now, a lot of people aren't wanting to talk to you, like, that's not in my forefront. Like, I still am in the middle of some deals with people leading the sales team. Some of our salespeople are furloughed, just given the situation that, revenue coming in and the government shutting down travel just legally, especially in the corporate world. Travel is slowed down. We still have some of our clients that are traveling, like engineers that are essential services. So we do still have at functioning. But one of the really positive things is we've taken an opportunity to increase our processes internally. So if when you're in a sales team and, it's sell, get it in, get it in, get it in, get it in. You don't always have time to sit and clean up your operational processes, your technology processes, add technology that makes sense, that can, increase your ROI from an internal perspective, not just by, adding new clients to your base. So we've actually been working on internal processes. We're about to launch a new OTA, a new online travel platform. We've increased what our policy. So a lot of our corporate clients, just so people understand what I mean by corporate travel. So any company that has people that travel for business, we go in and arrange contracts with them to give them discounts with their suppliers, as well as make travel easier for them, as well as get an ROI with the return on your investment for, like, we keep track of all of your data, basically, where you can save money, give suggestions on, this is a better way to travel. This is the supplier you should use more. If you create a policy where you can fly a certain way, your employees will be happier and you're going to save yourself money. So it's a combination of people and assistance with technology driven. So we're launching a new OTA. We're launching a new bucket process. So before we had a transactional model that we still will have, and now we're going to have like a monthly fee with a certain amount of transactions allowed per bucket. So I've actually been doing lots of launching new projects and so on. So even though maybe the sales is reduced, we still have some sales coming in. I mean, right now in our market, there's a huge opportunity, even though maybe people don't want to talk about travel. One of the things is with corporately is corporate responsibility with your HR. So when people do start to travel again or business, because we all know, we're all suffering being salespeople. I mean, I used to go by and drop by coffees to my prospects and just have a quick chat. I mean, I do a quick, those types of things. I know we're all probably suffering from that. I mean, I miss being able to just, have that connection, have a lunch, have a coffee, not maybe a huge presentation, which there's a place for that, but just connecting with your people. So you have to find a way to connect. And so, we've been doing a lot of, I'm doing a lot of touch point calls, information, education, but really focusing for the corporate side on their HR and policies. So when you come back to the office, what's your plan? When you need to travel again, because we're not going to be virtual forever, statistically speaking, certain statistics say, oh, it's going to be a virtual life. No, only 25% of the people that are working from home right now are actually going to stay working from home in the long run. The recovery might be 2 to 3 years from now, where we're looking back at full capacity when people are traveling. But there will be travel that happens again in the corporate world, but there's liabilities. So just working, we've been working with we have an internal law firm. We actually have a lot of law firms as clients, legally where they stand, working with their policies of how, when travel returns, how does that look? What rules can we suggest from our perspective that makes sense for your team to keep them safe, as well as that makes sense for you on the bottom line? Maybe some of the companies we're working with have lost money during this financial. They've lost people. They're adding new employees that they've only met virtually, and stuff like that. So from our perspective, how is it? That's sort of what we're doing. We're very busy, actually. I feel like I'm busier almost now than before, not maybe out. I'm not used to being at my computer all day anymore. I'm usually out meeting with clients and so on. But so that's one part that's changed, is we've been doing a lot of internal things, training sessions. So we've been running a lot of training sessions, making sure that people are up on all new products, because we're developing new processes, but so are our suppliers and so are our clients, right? So what's new in the market? And different technologies for how to connect. So different ways, as in before I might give a call or do a drop by. How do I do that now? Is it through an email? Maybe not, because everyone's sending emails. How am I setting up a virtual call? Am I putting something in their calendar ahead of time? And then which technology makes the most sense? I mean, we're using one now. There's Zoom, there's Microsoft, there's so many different avenues, and what makes sense based on the client you're meeting with. Are they meeting in the office? Are they working from home? Those types of things. Industry-wise, it's been a real interesting. Lots of travel companies have gone under through this process, because when we're talking to our clients right now, what will make you want to travel, or when will you travel? Well, when the government removes some of the rules and some of the stipulations. So corporately, we're really bound by what's happening with the government, which I fully support. Everything that's happening, no political opinion about that, but that's a fact right now, which we're being stuck by. So it's had a huge impact. It's been really sad, but a lot of people, which I've learned, our travel employees are some of the most resilient people that I've seen in any industry. Not quick to jump up and leave, but to set and fight. And a lot of people really dig in there, everybody putting their hand in the pot and going. Another thing is, so I am the director of sales and I run the sales team, but now I'm stepping into some operational gigs and, helping out in other areas that need a little more help too. So I mean, it's broadening the view. And in the past, I'm a salesperson at heart, but I come from a business background and that type of stuff. So just helping out in every area of the business it is. So yeah, I hope that answers some of your questions of where we're going and what we're doing.
I think a lot of people have had to shift gears, and I think that you guys are going to be the busiest. If you come back on a panel in, let's say we can travel in 6 months, I think your responses are going to be a little bit different, because I think everyone that I know, especially myself, I'm itching to like, when can I go away?
So. Well, the funny thing about that is we actually, one of our largest, so we were actually ramping back up to about 25% of our regular sales. And then when the government regulations came in again, the States actually, we cross over in the States as well. We're not a global company, but we are, international and so on. And US is actually already at a 30% back because their vaccines are up. So we're a little behind because we're not really on that type of stuff. Vaccine pro or not, doesn't matter. There are more being, given in the States.
Amazing. So thank you for that. That was awesome. And Rick, so let's chat with you a little bit. I want to know kind of some of the challenges you've had over the course of 2020, kind of coming into 2021. Maybe talk a little bit about the challenges you've faced in managing your sales team, or things that you've had to change and implement with your clients now that everything is virtual. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how the pandemic has impacted your organization, whether it be from a client or your sales team, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. It doesn't really change like the way that you want to reach out to people. You still want to call, you still want to email, LinkedIn, text message if you can. But the first thing you want to do is you want to relate to all of your clients. You don't want to go and think, hey, I gotta make a sale today, because there really isn't many sales. In IT, we weren't hit nearly as hard because a lot of people in the IT industry do work from home and do work remotely anyway.
Right.
But
sorry to interrupt, Rick, for a second. Rachel,
yeah,
I can hear a recording playing in the background.
You can. Can anybody else hear?
Yeah, so it's about a 20-second delay where all of a sudden I can just
hear. Do you have us open on another screen? That might be why. If you have it open, that there is a delay, but if you
perfect. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay, no worries. Sorry,
Rick. You're a technology guy anyway. Sorry about that.
No problem. So again, you want to relate to your client, and you want to, have a real conversation with them. So I often hear kids in the background. I have 3 of my own, 9, 4, and 1.
Oh, wow, you're busy.
Yeah, today they're out, so it's okay.
Awesome.
But yeah, you want to relate to them, and you really want to go and understand their business and how it's impacting them as well. I never want to go and think, I'm going to be the person that's going to solve all of their problems. But what I do is I want to understand what the problems are. As far as the team goes, it is very, very hard, but you want to keep them motivated all the time. So checking in 2 or 3 times a day, face-to-face calls are so important, and even I know that, we're not touching each other in the office, but seeing them and having that real personal interaction, so you see their face, their emotion. Even when people come on and their video's not on, I go, is your camera broken? What's going on with that? And the same with clients too, I'm getting renovations, in our house so I can have an office, but I was working in the basement that was unfinished, and I'd say, hey, look, this is where I am. And they go, watch this. And they show me the exact same thing because that's how it's happening. So with that, we've added some new things with some lead generation tools, which really, really help. Our marketing team at our office has been, man, like my right hand, like when it comes to getting stuff out and having more material to share with our clients, and really adding like a journey that we have with other ones and saying, this is something we've done before. And it really does make a difference for them. And integration, I know that it's one of the things that we do, but we're also in concert working with cybersecurity. There's an agency out of Canada, the Canadian IRAP that we work with to help people get a free security assessment. We do a lot of work in our AI, like RPA, robotic process automation. We do a lot of things in IT, but integration is where we take everything and make it work better, and make the companies and clients and everybody that we interact with more efficient with what it is they do every day.
That's great. Thanks so much for that. I know that, that interaction, like when I was doing the introductory remarks, it was my daughter's birthday and I have these balloons up here. and she didn't want me to take them down. And I'm like, I'm trying to fix the camera, but I'm like, actually it creates good conversation. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to just roll with it. But it's that connection. And then, I start talking about my daughter's birthday and someone else starts talking about their day. And it's just, it gives you that connection to people. So like you're talking about with your basement work environment, those types of things actually help. They help get to know someone for sure.
Well, it shows that you're human and that, you're going through the same thing they are. It's really, really touching.
That's right. So Lindsay, so thanks so much to both Rick and Elizabeth. So Lindsay, you touched base with me backstage. So when we reached out to you, you were working in an organization and, that recently kind of came to an end very recently. So you have a little bit of different perspective. So you were managing a sales team and recently, have been laid off, I guess, right? So you're coming at this from a little bit of a different angle. So what do you see happening in the industry now that you're out there chatting with people and you're in this transition phase? What are you seeing in the sales industry?
Yeah, I'm seeing a big shift definitely in people moving around. So for somebody like myself who's currently looking for new opportunities, there are a lot. There are a lot in technology of jobs for junior sales reps. And I think it's a great opportunity for people who maybe didn't think that sales could be a career for them to maybe join, even if they don't think that they have the experience for it. There are a lot of roles for business development representatives, also known as sales development representatives in the tech space. And for people who are wanting to transition or who have been laid off in industries that might not make the same kind of recovery, or it might take time, they could be looking at technology now and be given an opportunity to shine in a role that they might not have had prior. And so, yeah, it's been interesting to see so much shifting. There is a lot of, on the recruitment side, a lot of people are trying to find top talent, especially here in Toronto, where we have so many tech companies blossoming and growing, and also a lot of San Francisco-based tech companies that are trying to have a position here in Canada. And so they're looking to grow their teams here in Toronto as well. And so, yeah, it's been a really interesting ride. It's sad to see that so many companies have had to lay off. Pretty much our whole BDR team was cut because I think the company really had to re-strategize. But it just means that there's other opportunities. And I think there's a lot of people out there who've been looking to find their new home. And I hope that they're not giving up hope, because there is a lot of competition for roles, but there's also new roles that are going to open up because of this pandemic. And I think, Rachel, we were talking about this, how a lot of companies now need to recognize how important technology will be for their business. That you can't ignore it anymore. It's the pandemic has really kind of pushed that and brought it home to every small business, every large business who maybe wasn't integrating with technology in that same way. And so I think that's been the biggest shift because of the pandemic. But for me, it's exciting. It opens new doors for a lot of people.
Amazing. So yeah, a lot has probably changed for you going from, managing the team and the virtual side of it to, having to make the transition. So you seem like an amazing candidate. So we have lots of sales leaders on this platform today. So hopefully it connects you in some way. So Elizabeth, kind of going back to you, I know you said you've done some furlough, some layoffs within your organization. Maybe what are some strategies? I'm sure as a sales manager, leader, director, you've been thinking about what it looks like when it opens back up, you bring people back on. How do you create the culture of going from, having to lay off your staff to now, I'm assuming you're going to be really busy when things start to open back up. Have you guys thought about your strategy, what that looks like, and how you're going to transition these employees or maybe new employees into this, these new systems and all these things that you've been working on and implementing? And how do you see that looking when things do open back up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's always a case where, right now we're a bare bones sort of mentality, but soon it will be all of a sudden everything's going to open up and be crazy, and not just be at a 20% or 30% landing ratio. So we actually do multiple things where we put it in place right now. We do actively town halls, which we invite everyone that's even furloughed on those town halls.
That's great. That's great.
Now it's optional, obviously, if you're off. to attend, but that gives everybody an update, sort of how each section of the company is doing and what changes have happened. I also do, so with our corporate team, it's a smaller sort of team. We're pretty close knit. A lot of people had worked there even way longer than I had. And I actually will set up monthly calls with each one of them as well in the small team. So the sales account management team and everyone that was sort of, that hasn't moved on to something else, they are waiting to come back or wanting to still be involved in the company, and just open it up for questions where usually I try to book it after we've had the full company town hall and say, okay, so how are you guys feeling? How are things going? What questions you have. I'll also give updates of, so here's the new program we're launched. Here's how it's going to work when you guys come back, just to kind of keep everyone engaged. And, just because you're, some people, they're ambitious. Not that you're not ambitious if you're not, but are ambitious and want to try something new. Maybe they've been in a certain industry or travel for a long time and they want to try something else. Now there's opportunity. But for some of our team, they live, breathe, and eat travel. And so to them, it's important to come back, and we really value that. So as part of that, just like connecting, as Rick had said before, just getting in front of them with a video chat face to face and saying, hey, the people that are still here, we're still thinking of you. We still want to connect with you. Here's what we've added to the program. So those are some ways we've actually internally, and honestly, it's optional because if you're furloughed, we're not required for you to be there, as well as just keeping up to date on LinkedIn, trying to add positive things where we're giving, kudos. I think that's a really important thing on LinkedIn, giving kudos to your existing people that are working really hard, or projects that they've done. So you're recognizing. So when we do come back, that, there's not that feeling of, oh man, we've just got hit so hard. But there is lots of really positive things. So yes, people aren't traveling a whole lot right now, but there's so many positive things that are happening inside our company and the culture and what we're doing. We're doing a huge, you said marketing, your right-hand person, Rick. Well, same with me. Like, I've never felt so close to our marketing team, our internal marketing team, as I do right now. We're just like, building our brand and building that up. So that when people do come back, I want everyone on our team to feel excited to be there and that there is promise. And, by involving them in our goals and involving us in our new processes that we're doing and new technology. I know we have technology people on the call. We've had a ton of technology integrated into our processes, which make us also more marketable. So if before we hit a certain, ideal market, we're going to be able to double that market through the technology that we've added. We're going to hit a lot more of technology type companies and so on. So that means for my salespeople, my account managers, lots of new opportunities outside of what maybe they prospected before and they banged on doors. There's going to be twice as many doors to hit on that make sense for our company. So I think that's what we're doing, just presenting new opportunities and then keeping everyone involved. Like, just because you're on furlough, it's not a bad thing. Connect with those people. They probably want to talk to you. They probably want to know what's up. They're probably wondering what's happening. So that's me. I'm big on communication, just getting in front of people.
That's great. We only have a couple of minutes left. So thank you guys so much for sharing all of this. I love to end these things on a positive note. We're all going through so many things, from, personal things to being at home to not seeing people. So maybe we could end with our most positive, whether it be a strategy, whether it be something you do with your team to create the positivity. I know, Elizabeth, you kind of just touched on that. But maybe something positive. We're all sales leaders on the platform. So something maybe out of the box that you do to help motivate your staff, or something positive you're doing in your organization. Like, I know you said you get face-to-face and you bring in the people that are furloughed to still feel part of the team. So maybe we could all, starting with you, Rick, we can start by just giving one kind of positive thing to leave everyone with, whether it be a strategy or something you're doing that's a little outside of the box.
Sure. We have a group chat on Slack, and we have daily trivia questions a couple times a day. And then there's a winner that gets a gift card.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And it could be, are you smarter than a fifth grader, to, a picture and what does it mean kind of thing. So, yeah.
So that's on Slack.
Yep.
Very cool. I like that. And how does your team take to that? Do they engage? They participate? It's fun. It's competitive. You're competitive. So I'm sure
everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win, right? No matter what, $5 or $500, everybody wants to win.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. So Slack.
I was going to say, salespeople would like for $5.
Right? So Lindsay, how about you? What's some advice that you can give, or something that you were doing with your team in terms of something positive and something that we can take away from today? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. I really believe it's extremely important to stay positive, especially in a time like this, but at all times for sales teams to keep that energy up, stay engaged, stay positive. It was tricky being remote for sure, because we couldn't go out for dinner after a busy day,
right,
or to celebrate a successful month. And so as challenging as it was to ask the team to come back on for another Zoom, and my team at Kira was, we had some folks in the UK, as well as in Toronto, as well as the West Coast of Canada. And so it was tricky to get everybody together at the same time, but I really asked that everyone would still hop on a Zoom from time to time, and we would just have fun. We would play games. Sometimes we would have budget to go and get some food or drink to have together, and we would play, like go into online game rooms and play to have that competitive spirit maintained, and have spiffs as well for, who would be the best competitor and win something, and they would get a box of beer or a bottle of wine or something, just to continue to infuse that sense of fun. Because really, I think that's why most people get into sales, is to earn money, to be recognized, to have fun, but mostly that sense of togetherness and fun, and bring the sales gong. How do you do that virtually? There's no sales gong unless you have one in your house. So yeah, I think that's what we did. We tried to just make sure that we still had time and space for fun.
That's great. And Elizabeth, I know you kind of touched on your team a little bit. Can you maybe talk about maybe a couple things you're doing with your clients? Oh, sure.
Sorry, for 1 minute. I do apologize.
Yeah.
I have to go. I have a hard
stop.
No
worries at all.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, we very much appreciate it. Sorry, I know we're a little bit over time.
And be safe, everybody. Bye.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
Nice to meet you. So yeah, with clients, I can also touch on our team. So it's maybe I misunderstood the question too. So we also do some fun activities. So we do drinks at 4. Where everyone gets a drink at home and you talk the day. We call it coffee and screaming. So where people can either share something about personal life that's crazy. You have in the office where everyone kind of talks over coffee while they're getting their coffee in the kitchen or water. So we've tried to simulate that it's called Coffee and Screaming, where we just sit and you can talk about personal or work or what's frustrating or what's happy. Just kind of make that relationship. As well as we did speed dating, which is not actually dating. So HR people, don't worry. But 60 seconds, and each one of the people on the team got to share a little bit about them. Because our company is growing, we wanted to make sure everyone felt like they knew each other, because a lot of people have just met over Zoom recently with our merge and stuff. So we've done that. We've also done like online trivia times as well, where people have the app on their phone and answer, and their prizes. So we've done stuff like that. Client-wise, like I said, client-wise, we've done, we're actually, maybe I shouldn't give this away because it's my signature, but instead of being able to drop off coffees and meet with people, I actually e-gifted Starbucks gift cards for $5. So people so if I had a meeting with a client, I would encourage our staff to send the gift card a day in advance, so that then in the email, tell them to please bring a coffee to the meeting on us, because we're happy to sit and talk and not put you to sleep on Zoom. So that was something that we kind of did that was creative, that was actually really successful. People loved it and felt really appreciated, and it was
that's great.
Constraint. So that was something
that go a long way today. You're at home and you're by yourself, and just to feel that little sense of appreciation.
For sure.
And speaking of appreciation, I want to say thank you to you guys for taking 30 minutes out of your day. I know, you guys are busy, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone today appreciated it as well. So thank you for sharing your journey, your story, your strategies. It's greatly appreciated. And Lindsay, you got to get your info out there. You seem like an amazing leader, an amazing breadth of sales experience. So thanks to both of you. Elizabeth, you seem like an amazing manager that anyone would want to work for. I mean, you've got some amazing strategies and tactics and things like that. So thank you to both of you. I know we're a lot over time. Just wanted to quickly wrap up and say thanks to everyone for attending today. You can find all of our events. We do a lot of different events and panels on eventlogic.ca, where you can find most of our information. And I am with TorontoJobs.ca, so we do recruitment and other services if you're looking for staff. So thanks so much to you guys for being here, and we'll see everyone. I think May 5th is our next event. for sales leaders. So hopefully we see everyone on May the 5th. So thanks so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
You too. Thanks so much.